I've got to spend some time on Jane Doe number one. Some of the women have outed themselves, like Jennifer Newsom, so it's okay to talk about their identities, and others haven't, like Jane Doe number one. She was the biggest focus of the prosecution's final rebuttal on Friday. And they say her allegations carry the most charges. The prosecution's argument was that Jane Doe number one would not have been able to describe Weinstein's genitalia if she had not been sexually assaulted by him. Now, the look of Harvey Weinstein's junk, forgive me, has been discussed a lot. And it's so disturbing. So trigger warning for the audience. Trigger. During her testimony, Jane Doe number one spoke at length about Weinstein's testicles. On the stand, she tearfully told the jury that Weinstein demanded that she suck his, okay, well, I have to say it because it's his balls, or forced her to perform oral sex on him. Rehashing the graphic details, she said, he forced me to do what he asked. I was crying and so on. But during cross-examination, one of Weinstein's attorneys, Alan Jackson, asked Jane Doe number one how Weinstein's, forgive me audience, balls were in her mouth if Weinstein, as it turns out, does not have testicles. Oh my God. Oh, he doesn't have testicles.
I know too much about this, Megyn, more than I would ever want to know in my life about any man's.
Where are they? Where are they? What happened to them?
They're like on the side of his body. They're actually there, but they're not in the scrotum. They're inside of his body. He had the same.
No, it says inside his. Wait, my Canadian Debbie says because of an infection, his testicles were taken from his scrotum and put into his inner thighs.
Right, that's what I said. But inside his. He had
sustained.
He had the same infection that killed. Who was the head of the Muppets? Jim Henson. Had Jim Henson not gotten that disease, Harvey Weinstein would have died. They only knew how to treat him because Henson had that disease, and he almost died. And yes, that is something that they had to do.
Thank you, Balls historian. Can we go back to the relevance of these things?
Well, it's identification. That's the relevance, is the identification.
Right, and I think it's powerful testimony because they are so unusual, and she knows them, and she could describe them, and that is the only way she would have known.
But she described them wrong. That's the point. She did.
He was basically saying you couldn't
put
suck
them in your mouth.
Yeah, they're in his leg.
You can't put them in your mouth. That's the issue, Mark, and that's why a lot of this stuff is like, if you look at all these in both states, New York and California, if you look at all of the statements and you dissect them, they're like 3 or 4 different stories. They're not little inconsistencies. There are major inconsistencies like the one of which we speak right this second. You cannot put those testicles in your mouth. Sorry for saying that on Kelly's court here, but it's just,
I won the bet. I knew he'd say that.
My apologies.
Sorry,
Meg, to the audience.
I apologize. They're all politically correct terms here.
It became, important legally. And this woman said, I always told the detectives that Weinstein had abnormal testicles. I recalled that he didn't have one. It was like empty skin. So that's pretty consistent. Like you could say testicles and mean like empty sack. Okay, sorry, we've gotten way too down the rabbit hole. But in any event, we are going to find out, I think soon. There was just a hung jury in the trial of another celebrity, Danny Masterson, out there in LA. And that was a case that, I don't know, we weren't sure how that one was going to go. But now that they have a hung jury there, we'll see. A hung jury for Harvey would be a huge win, would it not?
Yeah, Meg, yes. Meg, I want to ask you one question about your feeling on this. Because I'm pretty sure how I know what Justice Scalia's feeling would be on this. If you're going to take the stand and you're going to accuse someone of a crime that's going to put them in jail, could put them in jail for the rest of their life, like basically the death penalty. Don't you think you got to give your name? Don't you think you have to say who you are if you're going to do that to somebody else?
Yes, I do. I do think so.
I mean, this Jane Doe stuff is just, I understand it in the initial accusation parts. And if someone's going to take a plea and it's all going to be quiet, that's one thing. But if you're going to go take the stand and you're going to point at someone and say, he raped me and I want him to go to jail for the rest of his life, then people need to know who you are and what your background is. And if someone pops up and says, wait a minute, this person made the same false accusation against me, you need to do investigations. I don't know. Jane Doe doesn't seem an American way.
There's another side to that, Arthur. And all you have to do is plug in someone you care about and understand what they would go through, certainly in a high profile case, by coming forward. And I think it would.
But if you're going to come forward, you have to do that. I mean, that's what the Crawford decision from the United States Supreme Court is about. Confrontation clause means you are going to confront someone face to face.
Confront without giving the public their name so people can.
Well, it's a public hearing. It's a public event. It's a public courtroom. So that everything is public except their name. That's out of order.
And his name, like he's out there. He can't do Jane Doe or John Doe. Like he's being publicly accused. I do think, and I understand the dynamics, trust me. And I do think there are some cases where we should protect anonymity, especially where a woman's being subjected to, potential abuse, ongoing abuse. You know, her name getting out there could endanger her. There are certain circumstances, but as a rule, I see your point. I think it's only fair if you're, and I had wrestled with this to some extent in my own life. Back in the Fox News case, I remember most of the women were like, I don't want Roger to know that I'm talking. I don't want him to know that I came forward to the investigators. And I remember having this discussion myself and saying, that's not fair to him. He gets to know who's accusing him. And, you know, if I'm going to be on that list, he gets to know that I'm on that list. It's only fair because he's got to. Now, going public is a different thing, but I see your point. There is so much to love about the changing of the seasons, right? What better way to soak up the best of this one than with a Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas? A Michael Phelps swim spa combines the benefits of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. It comes in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Master Spas worked with Michael Phelps to develop an at-home training and fitness solution that you can use year-round in any season, even the winter. Exercising in the water is a great way to include physical activity into your daily life. Relax after an afternoon of raking leaves or shoveling snow. The spacious swim area gives you room to stretch your tired muscles or relax your aching back. As your fall calendar fills up, or winter as it is about to be, a Michael Phelps swim spa will be the perfect place for you to spend some time together as a family. It's just like a little oasis for you and your family to get out to and spend 15 minutes together. The swim spa drives people outdoors, from kids to grandkids. They're all going to love splashing and playing in that swim area. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas. That's the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. A Michael Phelps swim spa is energy efficient too. You can use it all year long. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK, and that will save you $1,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. Masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.